Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Mahabharata, the epic in Sanskrit, is considered to be the longest epic poem ever written with over 1,00,000 slogans. The Pandavas were defeated by the Kauravas, and the Pandavas were defeated by Kauravas by a gambling, and they were asked to exile to forest for 12 years. After 12 years, when they came back, Kauravas refused to give back the land. Yudhishthira, the elder among the Pandavas, went to the Kauravas for a settlement, but that was not accepted. And at last, he came down to 5 villages, means 1 village to each Pandava, and that too was not accepted by the Kauravas, which led to the Kurukshetra war. And the rest is history. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and friends. I have no other better example to cite when I talk about negotiation. The talk that Yudhishthira had with Kauravas is a typical example of a lose-win negotiation. Initially, the Pandavas asked back the country. Then they stepped down and down and down, asking for 5 villages. Negotiation is as old as the human history too. There will not be anyone among us who has not had done a negotiation in life, be it for the price or something we buy or for a conflict at home. Ultimately, every negotiation ends in a conclusion. It can be win-win, win-lose, lose-win, or lose-lose. But the widely accepted one is the win-win strategy, where both parties think they have gained or they have gained the battle. Let us look at a real-life example. You got a fishmonger and says, you want fish. He says the price of sardine is rupees 200 per kilogram. You say that the rate is too high. Can you give for rupees 150? If you give for 150, I'll buy 2 kilograms. The fishmonger thinks, I bought the fish for 150 rupees. If I sell it for 150, I don't make a profit. So the fishmonger says, okay, I'll give you at 175 if you buy 2 kilograms. So I happily buys 2 kilograms for 350 rupees, believing I gained 50 rupees. But for the fishmonger, he thinks instead of 1 kilogram, he sold 2 kilograms, and that too at a profit of 50 rupees. That is a win-win strategy. This looks and sounds simple as long as it is fish, vegetables, fruits, or groceries. But that's not the case when it comes to arguments over assets and liabilities between corporates or over territorial borders between nations. I hope you all might remember the story of the Ambanis when Dhirubhai Ambani passed away. Both brothers were quarreling over the billions of value territory, the Reliance Industries. Such cases are not uncommon in our country, and it's not as easy to solve as we believe. In such cases, the role of a good negotiator, or in other words, a mediator, plays a very crucial role. There's no other choice other than the win-win option in such cases, or else the result will be a big loss. Consider the case of India and Pakistan over the Kashmir issue. Pakistan believes that they gain the battle when they're able to infiltrate to India. We believe that we win the situation when we are able to chase down. But both countries, it's a lose-lose situation because we lose our soldiers. When we lose or blast a Rafale or a MiG, it cuts bottom to the budget to feed the poor. Ultimately, it's a lose-lose strategy. There are several negotiation styles that are being followed by the corporates, which I need to explain today. Each has its own advantages and disadvantages. It's important to consider your personality and your level of comfort in a situation that may require confrontation when choosing negotiation tactics. Your success depends on your ability to effectively engage in conversation that lead to mutually beneficial outcomes over the course of negotiation. Sharing by a negotiation I had recently. That is not a corporate negotiation. It happened in the Multifood Fish Mart in Puducherry. If you ever happened to visit such a fish mart, you would have noticed their pricing styles or methods. It was a fine Saturday morning. As I stepped, I saw a lady arguing the price for a particular fish. They said if you buy it in full, it will cost you only rupees 300 kilogram per kilogram. But if you want cut piece, we could give you only at 400 rupees. She wanted only 1.5 kilograms, and the fish was weighing almost 3 kilograms plus. When I wanted the same fish around 1.5 kilograms. So, thinking I could ameliorate the situation, I also stepped in to the debate. They were so adamant that they will give me only cut piece at 400 rupees, but I don't want this fish, the whole 3.5 kilograms. So I asked them to weigh it. They weighed it at those around 3.3 kilograms. So the full fish would cost you around 1,000 rupees. I asked them to cut it into pieces. Once they cut it into pieces, I asked them to pack into 2 equal packs. And I gave 1 pack to the lady and got 500 rupees from her. But if we had grown this by cutting it into pieces at 400 rupees per kilogram, it would have cost us rupees 600 per kilogram. And thus we saved 500 rupees. And what I understood was my gain was reflected in the face of the other lady. And the same was reflected as a front face for the municipal authorities also. But sadly, I could not find a name for such a negotiation in any of the management books I have looked into. And I believe in future, this negotiation would be known in my name. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Congratulations to Toastmaster Ajai Appoose for completing the project. Negotiate the best outcome. And I request all of you to join with me with a good round of applause. It's really a great idea to start a project on negotiation with a story from the great epic Mahabharata. Although it's sad to say, it was a lose-lose situation. Mahabharata to fish market to Ambani. What a variety of examples. One of the best part of the speech was the relatable examples itself. Nobody had to burn their brain to find out who is who and what is happening. We are all of us Indians. We all are familiar with the Mahabharata story. And I think everyone can relate the fish market story and the Ambani we read. Where if there is more money, more negotiation had to take place. And even with the less money, the negotiation takes place in the fish market too. So that is very crystal clear and crisp. And second point is one of the prime thing is negotiation is using I. Always we say we should be prominent than I. But in negotiations, we have to keep the focus on the I factor, because how I feel, that is why I am negotiating and I am presenting a negotiation. So my speaker Ajai Appoose presented with the I factor. That is explained each point with an I factor, each example also. But as it is a level 3 speech, let me analyze on the project objectives. Fish market example, you are a part. My speaker was a part, but there was not much conflict. Because it was one-sided suggestion from my speaker's side to weigh the fish and to pack it into. Even though the other lady was in a conflict to take the 1.5 kilos only, even then there was not a conflict between my speaker and the seller. Even with the seller and the lady, there was a conflict. She was not ready to take it, but she can lose it. So I could think that my speaker could select one better example, there was a conflict and there was a real need of negotiation. Even one that had happened in our club or in the office, somewhere he can take some familiar examples or not even familiar. Not although it is not familiar, it can take an example, some more visible. In the Toastmaster projects, there are presenting 4 methods, that is competitive, accommodating, compromising, and collaborating. And I think that he could mention that which category he is falling on. That's what's the difference between that 4 types of negotiation and what is the need of it, where it come to present. So that the third part is the hand holding. That it happened that just holding the hands like this, so it can be avoided. So to conclude, good examples, smooth transition, crisp, clear, and confident presentation. And on the suggestion side, mention the other negotiating methods, avoid hand holding. Thank you. All the best for future presentations, and back to general evaluation.